Habegger University presents Being an Agent of Habegger, Part 3, Maintaining a Professional Image. Part of being an agent of Habegger is to develop and maintain a professional image. While this can mean so many things, there are 3 areas that we want to focus on that can provide the agent with instant positive impact on their professional image both internally with managers and peers and externally with customers and vendors. Those 3 areas are social media presence, avoiding gossip, and avoiding whining. Let's explore each of these in detail, shall we? Social media presence. Social media has not only become a personal tool for staying connected with family, friends, classmates, and the like, it has become a valuable tool for developing a professional image for yourself and for Habegger. Here are some best practices for agents to follow regarding the use of social media, which includes Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, Snapchat, and all of the others. Decide what platforms you will use for personal versus professional and keep them separate. It likely won't enhance your professional image to use the same social media platform to mix personal and work. There's nothing wrong with, for example, having 2 different Twitter accounts and keeping personal and professional separate. Another strategy is to designate some platforms for personal and some other platforms for professional. For example, you might designate Facebook and Snapchat for personal while designating LinkedIn and Twitter for professional. Either is a good strategy. Either way, it's also best not to connect with customers or coworkers on your personal accounts. If you stick with just one account where family, friends, coworkers, and vendors can see the same thing, post-only statements you would feel comfortable having your manager see. That means avoiding the profane, avoiding posts about your personal problems, and avoiding emotionally charged topics like politics and religion. Don't comment about work. Remember, you chose to only have one account. Whining and complaining about coworkers or Habegger only makes you look like a whiner and a complainer. Also, don't share detailed work information like customer names, coworker names, or any information deemed to be confidential or invading someone's privacy. Don't post pictures of yourself showing your abs, cleavage, tattoos, drunken evenings with friends, or making obscene gestures. Keep all photos G-rated. Untag yourself if you've been tagged in unprofessional photos so they don't show up on your feed. Finally, be sure to hide friends' comments that are inappropriate, controversial, angry, or demeaning to you or anyone else. Keep your feed clean from things that might not only damage you, but damage Habegger in the process. Gossip. It should go without saying that the agent avoids gossip. The agent understands that gossip erodes trust, morale, and productivity. The easiest way to handle gossip is to have a zero-tolerance policy. If someone tries to share gossip with you, don't participate. Several ways that you can do that. One strategy is to simply walk away. Beyond juicy gossip, the gossiper craves a captive audience. So don't be captive, simply walk away. A quick shaking of the head and walking away will send the proper message. Another strategy is to change the subject. So learn the art of changing the subject. For instance, a coworker says, "Did you hear about Joe last night at happy hour? He had a lot to drink and told off the boss." Your response could be, "Yeah, I did hear that. Speaking of last night, what was the name of that band? They were freaking awesome. Man, they really rocked Freebird, didn't they?" From there, you can control the conversation and segue to another topic. Another tactic is to turn it around on the gossiper, saying the exact opposite by praising the person being attacked. A complimentary remark will often get the gossiper to stop in his or her tracks. And you may not see the gossiper again because they're not getting the payoff that they seek from you by gossiping. Finally, you can be assertive and say something to the effect of, "I don't want to participate in gossip, and I recommend that you don't either. It's always best to do this one-on-one and in private." Don't lecture the gossiper or turn it into a fight, but make it clear that you don't want to be part of such discussion in the future. Whining. Whiners whine because they think the world is not fair. Guess what? They're right. The world is not fair. Fair is where people ride rides, eat cotton candy, and judge pigs. The agent understands that at Habegger, just like every other employer, not everything will always be fair and equal, so they refuse to whine about what others have or get that they don't. Surveys show that as many as 55% of all employees whine at work. So if you want to get ahead, stop the whining, and more than half of your competition for promotion will simply eliminate themselves. Here are some things that you can do to avoid falling into the vat of whine. First, turn complaints into suggestions. Rather than constantly whining about something that can be fixed, the best way to talk about the issue is to bring suggestions to the table. We discussed how to do this last time in part 2. Next, vent on your own time. If you can develop the habit of venting to a spouse, friend, or even your dog, you'll be much less likely to vent at work. Most of the time, getting something off of our chest starts the process of feeling better and moving on, so do your venting outside of work. Finally, recognize how whining makes you look. Whining often comes across as weak or as needing attention like a petulant child. Ouch. And when you whine at work about work, you come across as a victim, disloyal, and miserable. Double ouch. Nobody wants to come across this way, so pay attention to your mindset, how you're feeling, and the words that you use to communicate when you're frustrated. This is a big one, gang. Summing it up, the agent, who sees themselves as a representative of Habegger and not just another employee, understands the importance of maintaining a professional image. Therefore, they make sure to scrub their social media and keep personal and professional separate. They refuse to get involved in gossip and avoid it like the plague. Finally, they know that work is no place for a wine and cheese party. Do these simple things and you will elevate your professional image and become an agent of Habegger.